A quality all SkyBlock players have is a lack of social skills and the desire to stuff their mods folder with as many mods as possible in an attempt to increase their experience of breaking blocks and hitting mobs. In this video, iCheppy will teach you how to properly manage your SkyBlock mods and which of them you should consider installing and which you should possibly get rid of. Along with his mod pack, iCheppy will showcase his custom Hypixel mod. But before we begin, consider subscribing and like this video.
To launch Minecraft, you need a launcher. There is the default launcher, Badlion, and Lunar. Those are just some of the most popular people use. All of them are okay for SkyBlock to some extent, but they're not the best for it. The launcher I prefer to use is MultiMC. It allows you to have multiple instances of Minecraft which are completely separate from each other. So if you play on a modded Minecraft and you switch to another version, your game will not crash from having incompatible mods. Since every version of Minecraft is its own instance, your mods, folders, maps, servers, texture pack are completely separate from each other. This is especially useful, for example, if you have a PvP mod setup, a SkyBlock setup, and maybe a couple of modded single-player worlds. MultiMC simply provides a lot of flexibility compared to a default launcher, and that is why I prefer to use MultiMC over the default one. When you create your Minecraft instance, you'll need to install Forge. If you're in a default launcher, it's a bit more difficult, but when using MultiMC, it is done with one click. Forge and any external mod will not work on Lunar or Badlion if you're about to ask that in the comment section. And as I said, those are pretty bad for SkyBlock compared to Forge. So if you want to have a better time playing SkyBlock, you'll need to use Forge. Now with the launcher stuff out of the way, we can talk about mods. On the screen is a list of all mods that I use, and in my opinion those are the only mods that you need to play SkyBlock comfortably. I will briefly go over every mod on the list, but first let me tell you about one mod that you should not have installed on your computer. This mod is called Chat Triggers. This mod is a client that allows you to install smaller mods called triggers. Chat triggers are written in a language called JavaScript, which makes them faster and easier to develop than actual mods. But what is the problem with chat triggers? Chat triggers is a sort of a JavaScript interpreter for Minecraft, which really slows down your game. So this is the amount of FPS I have with my regular mod build, and this is the amount of FPS I have with chat triggers installed. Chat triggers are really heavy on your system, and the chat triggers are usually not worth it, because almost all of their functions are already a part of the mods that I listed earlier. Hopefully this convinced you to reconsider using chat triggers. First on the list, I have 3 mods that make a visual change to the game and increase FPS. Optifine is basically essential to every Minecraft build because it provides a significant performance boost and many features that allow you to customize the visual aspect of your game. Second on the list is Patcher. It also provides a performance boost and a number of game bug fixes that are meant to improve your game quality. And lastly, better FPS. This mod has no config, and to be honest I have no idea what exactly it does, but it increases my FPS by about 10, so I just have it there. Next, there are 2 utility mods that I use. The first one is called Toggle Sprint. This mod makes it so that you can sprint by default without having to press your sprint keybind. This is especially useful for PvP, but it is also convenient for Minecraft in general. The second mod in this category is AutoTip. It automatically tips SkyBlock players for extra XP and coins. AutoTip doesn't seem to have any performance issues, so I just have it there as a nice bonus. And finally, the SkyBlock mods, something that you all have come here for. I only use 3 SkyBlock mods, and this is all you need to play SkyBlock, because they have all the features that most SkyBlock players need, like terminal and enchanting solvers, custom auction house search, slot locking, and more. The SkyBlock mods I use are SkyBlock add-ons, not enough updates, and SkyBlock extras. SkyBlock extras is not a free mod, but there is a good alternative that I can recommend. It's called DankestGamer mod. It's free and it has a lot of features that SBE has, so when I'll be talking about SBE in the future, you can substitute it with DSM if you're not going to purchase SBE. SkyBlock add-ons is a classic of SkyBlock, one of the first and most essential SkyBlock mods. It's fairly simple and it provides the user with some of the most essential features like slot locking, travel map, defense and speed counters and more. Next, we have not enough updates. This is the heaviest mod on the list and it has most features too. This is a mod you have to be careful about. The features are nice, but they could come at a slight performance issue. So if you don't use the features too much, you can confidently toss it out of your mods folder, because the less mods you have, the smoother your game will run. SkyBlock extras, or interchangeably DSM, I mainly use for dungeons. They have puzzle solvers, terminal solvers, and some some other quality of life improvements. If you're not really into dungeons, those two mods can also be omitted. And the last mod is a custom mod, a cherry on my minimalist mod setup cake. It's a small mod for removing all the annoying messages from the chat, like join messages, combo messages, there are blocks in the way messages. Well, I think you get the point. The mod is especially useful in SkyBlock because there are so many things that spam the chat and can get pretty annoying. All features can be viewed and configured by typing /ccm in the chat. And this is the final result. This is a mod setup with 10 mods, which gives this much FPS on my GTX 1080 in Intel Core i7. The build is very simple, easy to configure, and uses mainstream mods, which mitigates the security risks to a minimum. Finally, the SkyBlock texture pack I'm using is called DankestGamer, and the block overlay is called Bare Bones. These two are optional, but I really like a fresh, minimalist look that the texture pack gives to the game.
That's the end of the video, and if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.